Imagine that you had the opportunity to encounter God. What would you do? Perhaps take off one's shoes, bow down before the Holy One, and maybe just be so overwhelmed as to be rendered entirely speechless. These are some of the options that come to mind. And yet in this week's Parsha, at the end of Mishpatim, we read that the elders of Israel, Ziknei Yisrael, had exactly this experience. Vayechezu el ha'elokim. They glanced, as it were, whatever exactly this means, they saw God. How did they respond? Well, in traditional Jewish fashion, they ate and they drank. Vayochlu, vayishtu. Now we understand that this is a classic Jewish response to pretty much any experience, and yet somehow it seems inappropriate. In fact, many of the commentaries criticize them. You see God, and what do? You throw a party? Doesn't make any sense. Where's the reverence? Where's the respect for the Almighty? Comes along the Ramban Nachmanides, one of the great heroes of Jewish history and one of the outstanding medieval scholars, and he explains no. Comes to the defense of the elders, and he says that actually what they did was righteous. And he explains as follows. He says, first of all, it wasn't just throwing a party. They weren't just enjoying themselves for the fun of it. They were offering a korban shlamim, a peace offering, which is symbolic of forging a covenant with the Almighty, number one. And number two, continues the Ramban, in fact, this is indicative of a fundamental proposition of what it means to be a Jew. Says the Ramban, in fact, there are so many faiths and so many individuals who believe one of two opposite things. Number one, on the one hand, that our job as religious people is to escape from this world, from materialism. We want to get up there, to have a connection with God, and to completely abandon all the corporeality, the materialism that is crass and everything that is here in this world. There are others who simply want to immerse themselves in everything that is physical and believe anything that is divine is vacuous. It simply is non-existent. Says the Ramban, the message of the Ziknei Yisrael, of the elders, is that we believe that our mission on earth is in fact to find that middle point. We believe that on the one hand we can encounter God, and yet at the same time we can connect between the heavens, between God on the one hand and earth on the other. The Ramban says this is true of the elders of Israel at this moment. Yes, it was appropriate. They see God, and then they take this world and they uplift it. They create that meeting point between heaven and earth, as the verse says in the Navi, Eretz v'shamayim nashaku, as it were, that the earth and the heavens came to kiss, to become inextricably bound with one another. But this is true not only of the elders, this is true of each and every one of us in our everyday lives. When we connect with our family, when we connect with our tradition, when we learn the Torah, when we take food, we recite a bracha and we elevate it, when we take the money that we earn and we dedicate it to our family or to a charity cause, to tzedakah, what we are doing is we are reenacting this fundamental philosophy of the Ramban and of Judaism writ large. Ultimately, my bracha for all of us this week is that we merit the blessing of the elders of Israel, according to the Ramban. May we, in fact, merit to see the divine, and then to take the physical. Vayechezu el ha'elokim, vayechlu, vayishtu. Shabbat shalom.